Good evening. If you're a football fan, you know that the third round of the FA Cup produces one of the best days football of the year, and today is no exception. Only two clubs in Wembley history have ever retained the cup. Winning it's difficult enough. Hanging on to it is almost impossible. But holders Liverpool began the day as favourites, and we'll see them in action at Swansea. Aston Villa are the form team of the moment. They had a tough away tie too at Blackburn, a fine attacking team.
Oh, and Nigel Spink and Miller, and Spink saves.
Arsenal were also away to second division opponents as they tried to outwit their old boy, Alan Ball, now in charge at Stoke. We'll see last year's semi-finalist Norwich down in the West Country at Exeter. Now, Exeter boasts the leading scorer in the league, Darren Rowbottom. All that plus goals from the other games that will make tomorrow morning's headlines. And Jimmy's here with some excellent advice for you.
And it is not to take your eyes away from the screen for the next hour or so, because you're in for a feast of cup tie football.
Told you so. But first it's Blackburn against Aston Villa, two clubs with a great cup tradition. Blackburn were the team of the 80s, the 1880s, 3 times cup winners in a row. Villa are one of only a handful of clubs to complete the cup and league double. Well, that was a long time ago, but could it be in their sights once again? Ewood Park, the venue, John Motson to set up the match.
There's no more experienced FA Cup campaigner among modern players than Frank Stapleton. He has 5 finals to his name and holds 3 winners' medals. And now he lines up in midfield for Blackburn Rovers. Well, their goalkeeper, 36-year-old Terry Genno, returns after 3 months' absence with a knee injury. Tony Finnegan is also back at number 4, and the club's record scorer, number 10, Simon Garner, is a survivor from the last FA Cup meeting between the clubs 10 years ago. So too is Aston Villa's number 10, Gordon Cowans. Their main concern was the fitness of Danish international Kent Nielsen, who passed a late test, so it's the lineup that served Villa so well over the holiday period. Referee Trelford Mills of Barnsley gets this cup match underway. Ewood Park, a ground of huge tradition. In fact, in 1990, Blackburn Rovers mark 100 years of playing here. They're in the blue and white halves, Aston Villa in the claret shirts, playing right to left in the first half. And a big cheer for Terry Genno, who hurt his knee at the end of September, but returns today. Clubs met here in the FA Cup in the 1979-80 season and drew, and then Villa won the replay at Villa Park. Well, that's a good little ball by Platt to Daly, but not a very good cross. Got a deflection, in fact, so it's a corner. Which Gordon Cowans will take. McGrath miskicked. Got a second chance. Daly. Goal kick. Genno won't be taking the goal kicks because of that recurring knee problem. In fact, they worked very hard to get him fit today, and David Mayle will take these. Here's Olney, back to Williams. Cowans getting in early. Gage, oh, well played by Sellers. Gage recovered well. Daly. Good, and a very good piece of work again on the right-hand side by Tony Daly. A simple goal in its own way, but crosses always dangerous when they're delivered like that. And Daly knows where the target is. He skipped past Sully. That was always going to be a Blackburn problem today. Daly the provider, only the scorer, and the first division team strike first in the FA Cup. It's McGrath with Garner. Miller, Sellers, Garner trying to battle a way through. This is McGrath for Villa, and then Platt with a jolly good ball to Gage, but well seen as well by David Mayle. And Spink, oh! A goal! It seemed to bounce back in of Sellers, but what's the referee given? It was whipped in by Garner, Spink dropped it, Sellers collided with him, and a free kick was given. And Blackburn disappointed, but the referee has disallowed it. Ormond to Williams. He's a good player, this left back. This is Cowans. Oh, a chance for number 2! Well, Ormond, having played a part in the build-up, found a position beyond the last defender and will be disappointed not to hit the goal with that header. It was crossed by Cowans, and he had room here to place his header, and he put it wide, Ormond. It's Frank Stapleton who's receiving attention here from Jack Cunningham. That was Stapleton. Finnegan. Engage with Simon Garner. Sellers following up. There's danger here for Villa. Still Sellers, brought down by Nielsen. Blackburn have the free kick about 20 yards out. And Sellers and Kennedy have been arguing with the referee, and it's Kennedy who's being spoken to. And it's Sellers, just wide of the post. Garner moved away. Sellers curled it. Spink was at full stretch, and it must have just shaved the post. There have been 2 features of this first half, and here's one of them, the Blackburn break that they thought might have brought the equaliser. Now, the player on the left is Simon Garner. The ball's bent in, Spink catches it, he runs into Scott Sellers, and it goes into the net. Was that a goal? The referee said no. Kennedy wants it inside, he's got it inside. Finnegan's made a run to the far side. And Gordon Cowans, with great perception, knew that it was his job to get back. That was good defending by a midfield player, and look what it's produced. Daly to... oh, it hasn't. Trelford Mills has decided that was a foul and has given Blackburn a free kick. Stapleton! Goal! Blackburn have equalised, and the great cup hero of the past is the scorer. And the Ewood Park crowd delighted. They feel they should have had an equaliser. Stapleton, the 33-year-old, knew that's exactly when you play on. The ball knocked in by Sully. Watch Kennedy go down here in a heap, but Stapleton's not worried about that. He turns and whips that one past Spink. So Frank Stapleton, who scored in the FA Cup final for both Arsenal and Manchester United, has scored the equaliser here today in the 3rd round for Blackburn Rovers, and it's 1-1. Williams, Ormond, Daly. Ormond again. Okay. Well, we have a well-balanced cut tie here for sure. Aston Villa off to a good start with Ian Olney scoring in 14 minutes. Then, after Blackburn thought they should have had an equaliser, Frank Stapleton produced the one that counted on 34 minutes to make the half-time score 1-1, and Tony Daly's form certainly a feature of the first half. And the crowd inside Ewood Park, by some way, the best of the season, 14,465. They've had plenty of excitement at Ewood Park over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Indeed, Blackburn Rovers have missed out in the playoffs for promotion for the last 2 years to the First Division. Flick by Garner, who's been very much involved in those 2 attempts to go up. In by Miller. And here's Platt for Aston Villa, who hasn't had much change out of Miller in midfield today. He's been bustled out of it. This is Stapleton. And Daly having to go back and do defensive work. Well, not quite like that. He hit Mountfield. And Finnegan's coming in, and that's his header! Oh, I think it was almost on the line when Spink pounced on it. From Tony Finnegan. Blackburn within a whisker there of going 2-1 up. Olney for the Villa on the rebound. Olmenroyd. Play on, says the referee. Finnegan. McGrath. Here's Tony Daly. Gage. And again, Miller's attention to Platt is the factor. Cowans. And that was played down the middle, where Blackburn are coping quite well just at present. But Cowans again. And now it goes wide. It could be a different matter. Williams. And Olney! Well, at the other end, Tony Finnegan very nearly put Blackburn Rovers in front for the first time in the game. Simon Garner here works hard to find the crossing position, and a good cross it is too. Finnegan's header was downwards, but Spink pounced on it. Meantime, at the other end, Williams supplied a half-decent cross, and Olney got up between 2 defenders, this time away from the post. It's Platt. Good play. Oh, he's hit the bar. Or did the goalkeeper get a touch? It's a corner anyway. Good effort by David Platt. And Aston Villa, suddenly, from being on the defensive, are starting to look threatening again. Their fans are all packed behind that goal, and it's going to be a corner to be taken by Gordon Cowans. And Blackburn defending for all they're worth. Cowans! Oof, could have gone anywhere. And Garner tries to turn... Oh, and Garner's away! And so is Finnegan here! He's got Garner to his right. Oh, what a good piece of play by Tony Daly. What he was doing back there, I'm not too sure, except that he was covering for people who'd gone up for the corner, I suppose. Terrific interception. Blackburn looked to be on for a run-on goal. Garner again. Well, there's all sorts of excitement here, not least a moment ago when David Platt, who's been out the game for much of the afternoon, suddenly came into it with a vengeance. And he struck that well, and Terry Geno may have got a touch, but it certainly came off the bar. Cowans. Ormond-Royd. Corner again. Now it's Aston Villa's turn to have a 5 or 10 minute spell. Nielsen and Olney are the players in the near post area. Nielsen, oh, and in Ormond-Royd! Off the post and in, and the big lad's got it. 2-1 Aston Villa. On the hour, they're back in front, and Ian Ormond-Royd was the key man there. But watch the flick on. This is the near post corner that nobody seems to be able to defend against. Flicked on by Olney. Ormond-Royd, the second header, off the post. Well, it's quite extraordinary. I was talking to the Blackburn manager, Don Mackay, before the game about near-post corners, and he was saying what a nightmare they are for defenders. Even though they've had about 15 years to work it out, it's still a winner. Now, is he offside? No. Simon Garner, Kennedy far post. Oh, the goalkeeper did awfully well. It's Kennedy now, though. Miller. Oh, Spink's in outstanding form in this spell. Two lovely saves from Garner and from Miller, and they can't believe it, Blackburn. They must have thought it was 2-2. Corner. And Kennedy. And Spink again. Well, Nigel Spink, who you may remember did get capped by England once, was really on top form there. The first save was good enough from Garner. Then when Miller struck it, he saw it all the way. Stapleton, Kennedy couldn't capitalise on that. He might now. Finnegan's in the middle, Garner's there too. Here's Garner. Stapleton going in for the header. Miller, Stapleton, Finnegan. Mail. Reed. Sellers flick. Nielsen's header out. Back in by Miller. Stapleton's there. Oh, it's been deflected and it's gone in! Scott Sellers had the shot. There was a deflection, but it's 2-2. And what a cup tie this is becoming. 67 minutes. And Blackburn Rovers are back in it, and the little fella's done it. The header by Sellers first off, then the header back in, then the header out, then the drive, and someone got a touch on that, without a doubt. But it's 2-2. Yes, it was one of the Villa defenders, but Sellers will get the credit, because he struck it well. And on the bench, they're as excited, I think, as they are in the crowd. Good flick by Kennedy. This is Finnegan. Sellers. Chance, great save by Spink. Was it an own goal when it came back off the defender? No, says Telford Mills. Mighty close, but great reactions by Nigel Spink again. And when that ball was driven in, Frank Stapleton thought he'd made it 3-2. It was a good cross. Frank's there, but so is Spink. And look how close he was when he pounced on the ball for defender. Good decision, it wasn't over the line, but Stapleton will feel that his first effort on many days would have gone in. McGrath. Finnegan. One chance perhaps here for Blackburn. It's Kennedy. Simon Garner. Pushed away from him, Nicky Reed's in possession. Here's Miller, swinging it out to Howard Gale. And they're still packed in there at Blackburn. And Gale goes all the way, and Spink pounces on it on the 6-yard line. Gage. Sully. Miller. And still Miller. Sellers. Miller. Spink is saved, and has he? Yes. Kennedy's there. Gale! Oh, it came off a foot. It's a corner. In the dying seconds, surely now we're well into stoppage time. Howard Gale could have won it for Blackburn after 2 minutes of stoppage time. And a flick on again, Mountfield. And Villa surviving just about. And two great cup teams of the past provide a gripping tie in the third round in 1990. Nigel Spink, a hero in the second half, when Blackburn ploughed back for the second time and at times threatened to snatch the tie. Villa, I think, will be glad enough to go back to Villa Park on Wednesday, and if the replay's as good as this match, the fans won't be complaining.
Well, I must say that looked a smashing cup tie.
Was indeed, and particularly
For
impressive.
the West Country for Exeter City against Norwich. Exeter going into the match with an unbeaten home record and top of Division 4. Norwich, last year's semi-finalists. Well, the pitch made it all just a little bit difficult, but another cracking game, watched by Tony Gubber.
It's Carnival Day at Exeter City, but probably not in fancy dress disguise are the latest First Division scouts who've come to see if Darren Rowbottom can add to that record tally of 23 goals against First Division opposition. Rowbottom always lines up in Exeter's number 7 shirt, and wearing 11 is Tony Franklin, the 17-year-old YTS apprentice, playing only his 4th game in an Exeter defence that may not be too troubled by this Norwich team that hasn't scored a goal for 5 3/4 hours and which lost all 3 Christmas games, despite the return of top scorer Robert Fleck after injury. It's 6th in Division 1 against the top of Division 4 in the FA Cup, and a real feeling in the West Country that there's a giant killing act in the air. And Norwich immediately funneling the ball back to goalkeeper Brian Gunn. Benjamin, as far as Gordon. Rosario wants a quick ball into Fleck. And, didn't work out too well for them. And it's really already beginning to cut up. Jim McNichol, much troubled Scotsman, now an Exeter publican, with the free kick for Exeter. Benjamin well forward. Gordon dispossessed. This is Whitehead. Has he gone round Culverhouse? Oh, he's brought down, well, he had. Rather despairing tackle by the Norwich right back. Both Taylor and McNichol have come forward, and that's Rowbottom. Marked by Townsend. To the far post. Bailey. Neville gets it out of a tight position. Bailey again. Oh, held off Townsend well, didn't he? And well struck. Well, that's the sort of shot that can really expose a keeper in these conditions. Look how muddy it is in the goal mouth. Good opening spell by the 4th Division side. And safely taken by Brian Gunn. Scottish under-21 international who's been in the full squad on many occasions. Understudy to Jim Leighton. This time they're both missing. Fleck. Flicked on by Townsend. Rosario on his chest. Just taken away from him by Jim McNichol. He's got quite good close skills for a tall player, Rosario. But couldn't quite drag that clear of Jim McNichol. And this is McNichol, now 31. Butterworth. Franklin, rather gangling youngster. Whitehead. Benjamin. Whitehead again. And Benjamin. Neville, pursued by Crook, good turn. Benjamin, Neville, neat by Exeter. Whitehead's cross, a good header by Neville. Oh, and he had to clutch it the second time. Whitehead, the man who crossed it in. And Gunn needed 2 clutches at it to hold it. And Steve Neville, the 32-year-old assistant manager here, with a glancing header, almost giving Exeter a perfect start. Well, Rowbottom scored 7 times in the last 6 games. Only one brief moment from him so far. The foul on him gets Exeter the free kick. Lost in the first round last season to Bogner. What a different tale it is this year. Neville. Rowbottom got away from his man well, and again Gunn has to make another save. Oh, that's a foul on Whitehead. We haven't seen too much of Darren Rowbottom, but it was a good shot first time, and Gunn had to be positive. And Clive Whitehead has felt a few scars in his time. He's now 34. Crook, nice back heel. And a little bit of anxious, 1 or 2 pushes and shoves. Jim McNichol was annoyed, I think, that Dale Gordon had got that free kick when he felt he hadn't touched him. Forward by Butterworth to Linigan. Phillips. Bowen, first time. Rosario got a head to it. Oh, what a fine save. Well, he's only 20, Kevin Miller. This is only his 7th game of the season, but that was absolutely splendid. Well, Rosario must wonder how that didn't go in. But Norwich have the corner. Linigan's up from the back, and Miller coming out confidently and taking it well. Well, here it is again. It's a really good header down by Rosario, and what a fine one-handed save from Miller. Scott Heide, the right back. Bailey. And that's the half-time whistle. A half in which Exeter will be more than satisfied with their performance. They've created most of the scoring chances, although their young keeper Kevin Miller had to make the save of the half. But the half-time score is Exeter City 0, Norwich City 0. Brighter weather arriving from the west at last, but at 4 o'clock it's not in time to give us a better playing surface here at St James's Park, where this second half will be played on a pitch that will deteriorate even more. And it's Exeter now attacking the goal to the right. Phillips for Norwich, dispossessed. Benjamin. Neville. Holds off Phillips. McDermott. For Benjamin. Oh! Well, he was picked out beautifully by the ball. Neville. Well, that's where he wanted a colleague. Bowen. Up to Butterworth. Oh, he missed it. Fleck. Miller's off his line. Fleck misses the post. Norwich presented with a game-winning chance, and Fleck missed it. Well, maybe that's the sign of a player who's missed a lot of matches through injury. It was Butterworth who hit it forward. McNichol, well, he looked quite casual, didn't he? It went over his head to Fleck. With the goal at his mercy, put it wide of the post. much longer, the route back to the keeper would have gone. Certainly looked like a handball to David Phillips, who's perhaps the only player on the field who's still got a clean shirt. Maybe he's playing in a different match. Bowen, across. Oh, it was blocked. McNichol wants to be quick. Oh. Well, I think you want to see your number 4 get the ball away from a position like that a bit quicker. Came off Rowbottom and broke a window in the stand. Have to get the Glaziers in on Monday. And I wonder if a broken window might be the prelude to the goal that this game richly deserves. Again, he's managed to turn. Faced by Butterworth. To Bailey, who chips it up. Header down. It's by Linnigan. Some really strong tackles going in. And that ricochets for Neville. Neville, right foot! Oh, swerving shot. It's still in play. And finally kicked away by Phillips. Well, Neville couldn't have hit that right foot shot sweeter. And Gunn just prevented it getting between him and the post. Whitehead. McDermott. Highly in support. Away by Linnigan. Only as far as Franklin. Who dispossessed by Rosario. And now Crook. Bailey. Victim of the pitch there, Bailey. As was Townsend. Bailey. Good ball. Neville. Townsend. Benjamin. It's a long range from Benjamin. Well, how can this game still remain scoreless? Because there's been a glut of chances in both goal mouths. Seemed far too far out, didn't he, Benjamin? But he struck it sweetly. And Gunn had to take it. 11 minutes left. Fleck, oh, good ball to put Phillips in possession. He's got clear sight of goal here. And again, the keeper saves it, and Fleck misses. Well, that was Norwich's best chance. Fleck missed one earlier, but that was even better. He put Phillips clear down the left. He always had a clear sight of Kevin Miller. Miller did really well to save the shot. It rebounded to Fleck, and with the goal empty, he missed the target. Rowbottom manages to turn. Butterworth finds Neville. Unbelievable! With 5 minutes left, the goal-scoring machine, Darren Rowbottom, has scored a classic. Neville picked him out. A glorious looping header right into the corner, and not even Gunn could get there. His 24th goal of the season, and that'll bring more First Division scouts down to the West Country. Well, now, what can Norwich produce in these last 4.5 minutes? Oh, dear! Miller looks in dismay, and what a disappointment that is for the home team. They led in the Littlewoods Cup here against Sunderland 2-0 with 15 minutes left. were held to a 2-2 draw and lost the replay at Roker Park, and now they've allowed Norwich to equalise right from the kick-off. You can't keep giving Fleck chances. He's missed 2. That time he was on target. What an amazing turnaround. And somehow you sense it might not yet be all over. It's been a thoroughly rousing third-round cup tie. A perfect pitch in many ways on which to play this sort of match. Team from the lower divisions against one from the first. Rosario. Crook. Townsend's made a run. Fleck. McNichol, important. Oh, Franklin was dispossessed for the first time. And over the bar. He's a cheerful chappie, isn't he, Robert Fleck? Feels that he's earned his money today with that equaliser. Well, I must say that the 9,061 fans who've seen this game have been privileged to see a really fine cup tie. And I'm sure that all of them will feel inclined to make the journey to Harrow Road for the replay on Wednesday, if indeed that's the way it ends. A game that has been a joy to watch. Exeter have really done their reputation proud. Fleck got the equaliser for Norwich less than a minute after the 4th Division side had gone ahead through their goal scorer, number 7, Darren Rowbottom. There he is. And it's nice to see the players with some...
Division 2, but now guided by former Arsenal and England star Alan Ball. A highly competitive match in prospect, and Barry Davis is commentating.
A few memories will be stirred for Lee Dixon, who left Stoke for Arsenal 2 years ago, and for Steve Bold, who followed him in June 1988. The Stoke defence now includes 2 youngsters at its heart, 20-year-old Andy Holmes and 19-year-old Lee Fowler. Carl Saunders replaces the cup-tied Tony Ellis up front, and Paul Ware, 18, is a late replacement for the injured Lee Palin. Injuries rob Arsenal of Alan Smith and Nigel Winterburn, and there's no place in their starting line-up once again for England's David Rocastle. But back comes Paul Davis to start a match for the first time this season. And Alan Ball in good spirits, contest against one of his old teams. He joined them after they'd won the FA Cup in the double year in 70-71 and played with George Graham, the current Arsenal manager, in the semi-final and final of 72, the semi-final against Stoke City. There, the most famous face of the Victoria ground, Sir Stanley Matthews. Can we really expect Stoke City to close the gap of 41 places? The team threatened by relegation at the bottom of the 2nd division to upset the league champions. Well, it's happened before. Only chance for Saunders to chase. David O'Leary with him. Helped by Steve Bold. Palmer. Now Quinn wearing 7. It's playing down the middle. This is Lee Dixon. And that's not the best pass he's ever made on this ground, I'm sure. The referee, Neil Midgley, taking an afternoon off from his business and speaking engagements, and he'll have the difficult job of judging what is a fair tackle on this difficult surface. And Arsenal playing 3 at the back, really. O'Leary, Bold, and the skipper to O'Leary's left, Tony Adams. Groves, Michael Thomas. Dixon is the most forward player, getting a few fairly friendly boos. This is Perry Groves. That's a good stop.
brave goalkeeping and an opportunity wasted by Niall Quinn. He was much too hasty, surely. But brave goalkeeping by Peter Fox. But Quinn will be disappointed he didn't take the chance. And, good to see a good crowd here at the Victoria Ground, though not the biggest of the season. They've had over 27,000 for their renewal of acquaintances with Port Vale, now in the same division. Comes another one out of the sky. Quinn got a nice little touch there and got a second one that was better. Good challenge by Fowler. Excellent cover work by him. It's a good flowing contest. Good cup tie so far. Bowles. Old Stoke against New Stoke there. Found Dixon, who finds Merson. Hoped to take it on the full, but couldn't. A couple of really good balls that Dixon has played in, though. Determined challenge. And Cliff Carr. And this is John Butler. And here's a bit of space for Ware. Might get a second bite and has used it well. Mr. Stanley Matthews would have enjoyed that. Just pushed it past the defender, although great credit is due to Tony Adams, who was back every bit as quick as the ball was moving. That's a goal kick. So Lukic still untroubled. And not quite pristine, but almost. Plenty of room for Bold. Dixon. A little sliced, I think. For Paul Ware. Talking of goal-scoring exploits, Paul Ware was a top scorer in the reserves last season, but Stoke really haven't suggested they're going to have found a route to goal yet in this first half. Sweater's really not bothered the big three at the back. But what now? That's a free kick against Tony Adams. It was a quite blatant check. Of that there can be no doubt. No attempt at all to play the ball, and he's really lucky not to be booked for that challenge. But into the last 5 minutes of the half. No score between the third team in the first division, holders of the league pennant, and the bottom team in the second division. We want to get rid of the wooden spoon. Dickens turned then, almost expecting a whistle. Didn't realise the man behind him wasn't Bold, but Adam. Merson. Sanford needs the challenge. Groves gets cleanly around him. And an excellent block by Andy Holmes that denied Dixon. Terry Groves showing tremendous pace here. Left cleanly Sanford in his trail. And the dive-in was by Holmes, which denied Dixon. O'Leary. Bold. That's a super ball to Dixon. And they've got two going in. And neither made it count because Peter Fox denied them. It was Merson who made the shot. Could have been any one of two. They were, to coin a phrase used once before, Stoke City, they were undressed then. Turned away off the line by Cliff Carr. Richardson with the corner. Quinn didn't get a full touch. Goal kick. After the near thing, there was this header by Tony Adams. Oh, well, he got up and turned away by Carr. Kamara holds the greatest hope for Stoke City to cause a surprise. And here he is, and he's onside just. Too many cooks. And Saunders, I think, rather frustrated. And Ball is up on his feet. There was a bit of pulling on the edge of the box. For a moment, the crowd, and indeed maybe the manager, thought that a penalty was going to be given then. But it's a free kick just outside the area. Biggin's going to try and get it over the wall, or will it be a touch to Kamara? It's a touch to Kamara. Arsenal coming out in numbers and great pace, but they could get caught. Carr's cross. Davis who got it away. And suddenly, the Stoke crowd have begun to believe, and maybe their manager too. Thomas. Groves. Fowler alongside. It was enough again. Corner conceded. Time to come to life this match, but seems to have done so now. Richardson again. Adams. That's a great turn by Adams. Header came from Quinn. Stoke ball. If you talk about defenders knowing what to do when they're in the opposition penalty area, that really was a very good, skillful piece of play by Tony Adams. Determination from Beeston. Not too many to take on. Stoke are now giving as good as they get. Now Groves. He's being held. Now what action will the referee take about that? Quite deliberately pulled back he was by Carr. The referee has to take some action here, because the chance of the shot was denied by a piece of blatant foul play. Thomas doing the eavesdropping. Well, I'm amazed. I have to say I am amazed that the referee has not even shown the yellow card. That was a clear opportunity for a shooting chance, and Carr just held on to Perry Groves' arm, pulled him back all the way. And the free kick here gives no justice at all to Arsenal. Richardson takes, cover again, the flag goes up for offside. Stoke supporters obviously delighted that they have escaped. But the tackle by Cliff Carr had nothing at all to do with football. It was simply a piece of arm pulling. Quinn had to hold it because Mercer was offside. Good collective harrying. Biggins. Hackett trying to get between the two, but the ball beats him. Davis. There's confidence for you. Richardson. Lost out to Kamara. Offside against Biggins. Hackett. Biggins, too strong. Michael Thomas. He was trying to get there first, but he left it instead to Dixon to carry on. Corner number 7 for Arsenal. Quinn finally breaks the deadlock. Didn't have to rise too high, but he's got the fans behind that goal on their toes. Arsenal having taken the lead with really the simplest of goals, the corner just played in on the near post, no knock on. Just one header from Quinn, who came from a bit further back on the 6-yard line. No chance for Fox. And into the last 2 minutes. Rocastle. Dixon. Rocastle again. Lots of form, David Rocastle. It's been a bit of a mystery to the Arsenal management. From an England point of view, it's better that it should be at this stage rather than later. Maybe for Arsenal's too. This is better from him. Davis was hoping. Kamara. Quinn getting goal side, or trying to. Got a long way to go, Kamara. Kamara needs help. Gary Hackett's. Forced away. Saunders! Best chance of the match. And not taken. Great applause from the crowd. And Alan Ball's look was almost philosophical.
Well, Stoke didn't quite make it. Arsenal City from Division 3. Liverpool's side today containing 8 of the players who started the final against Everton last May, plus Venison and Rush, who eventually won it. A big test for Swansea. Jerry Sinstad commentates.
Rush, good save. It's a real bit of Ian Rush acceleration there. Bracey did well. It's come right through here to Rush. Rush has laid it off for Nicol, and a beautiful touch over from Lee Bracey. Rush, beautiful ball. Beardsley, good touch from Bracey. Liverpool beginning to put the moves together now. On to the lock the second time. That was a brilliant run by McMahon. And very fine goalkeeping by Bracey. McMahon had come so far, so fast, and he lifted it well. And Bracey just stood up long enough. Did well at the second attempt too. Hussein. Nobody in the middle for Swansea. Well, leg is coming. No, there were too many defenders. Walker! Oh! Keith Walker! Inches over the bar. Beautifully struck with the right foot. McMahon is onside and has made another good run and just put it past the far post. Staunton, Barnes. Cross has come deep to Nicol, back in, and Rush has fired it wide. Good move.
0-0 the final score. Replay rescheduled for Tuesday, incidentally. Well, now with the other main stories of this Cup afternoon, here's Bob Wilson.
Tottenham Hotspur, third favourites for the Cup, gave manager Terry Venables a miserable 47th birthday. Jimmy Case's chip after 28 minutes caught the Spurs defence square, and Matthew Le Tissier confidently put away Southampton's first goal. 4 minutes before half-time, Le Tissier played a part in number 2, finding Barry Horn, whose shot from the angle went across Bobby Mims to creep in at the far post. 2-0 to Southampton, but a rousing finish was set up when Spurs pulled one back 12 minutes from the end. David Howells belting in a beauty. Almost immediately, Gary Lineker missed a good chance to equalise. But Rodney Wallace it was who wrapped up a great victory for the Saints, tapping in after Mims brilliantly kept out Le Tissier's close-range header. Spurs 1, Southampton 3. At Northampton, Coventry's players were well aware of the humiliation they suffered at this stage last season, beaten by non-league Sutton. But it didn't prevent the First Division team from further embarrassment. First, Bobby Barnes struck the Coventry post. And then the same player, Barnes, set up a fine goal for Northampton, Steve Berry, the hero. Remarkably, the goal was timed at 42 minutes, the same moment Sutton scored their first last season. In the second half, Coventry brought on Cyril Regis in a desperate attempt to equalise, but the third division side held firm to knock out the 1987 Cup winners. Traditional scenes for the victors, no excuses from the vanquished.
I think we went wrong in trying to play the safety game. You know, you've got to go with flair and you've got to attack sides. And I thought we started off, you know, just really playing it a little bit safe. I think we should have gone from the kick-off and gone at them. Really created more problems for them than we did. We had a 20-minute spell at the start of the second half where we went for them and it looked as though something was going to come. But other than that, we didn't really produce the chances one was looking for. But you've got to give them credit, haven't you?
At the Goldstone ground, Brighton's Keith Dublin broke the deadlock against Luton on the hour. The second division club's first goal in 5 games. 5 minutes later, though, Luton were level, David Priest's free kick creating the scramble, and Danny Wilson, a former Brighton favourite, finding the net. So 1-1, but only for 3 minutes, as Luton themselves failed to clear a free kick properly, and Gary Nelson volleys home. Nelson had only scored once in the previous 20 games, but his goal gave Brighton the confidence to go for more, and 11 minutes from the end, with Luton again found wanting in defence, Robert Codner made it 3-1. Luton's traumatic week, in which they parted company with manager Ray Harford, was not yet complete. Brighton skipper Alan Kirbishley getting his name on the score sheet 3 minutes from time. Brighton 4, Luton 1. West Bromwich Albion, knocked out in the third round for the last 5 seasons, ended the jinx with a fine victory over Wimbledon, winners 2 seasons ago. 8 minutes before the interval, Don Goodman's run led to Gary Robson beating Hans Seggers from close range. It was a goal of which elder brother Brian would have been proud. And 2 minutes after the break, the second division side increased their lead. Kevin Bartlett, the Albion hero, with a terrific individual run, ended by a perfect finish. West Bromwich Albion 2, Wimbledon 0. Torquay completed a miserable 24 hours for West Ham manager Lou Macari. Currently at the centre of an FA Cup bets investigation when in charge at Swindon, Macari's side today went down to a 77th minute goal. It was created with some style by Paul Smith, finished with his very first touch by 19-year-old substitute Paul Hirons. Another cup upset on its way, and more glory for the much-travelled Dave Smith. Torquay United of the 4th Division 1, West Ham United of the 2nd, 0. The quickest cup goal of the day came at Reading, the 3rd Division side going behind against Sunderland after just 40 seconds. Gordon Armstrong the scorer after an unfortunate slip by Lyndon Jones. Not the start Reading manager Ian Porterfield wanted against the club for whom he scored a cup final winner in 1973, but he needn't have worried. Jones made up for his error. In the 60th minute, Stuart Bevan's corner fell nicely for him. That made it 1-1, and 6 minutes later, Jones was in the right place again to side-foot in Steve Moran's low cross. Reading 2, Sunderland 1. A Mickey Mouse club is how Bobby Graham, manager of non-league Whitley Bay, described 4th Division Rochdale. The Rochdale fans reacted with humour rather than being offended, and they were rewarded with no Mickey Mouse result. The one goal of the game came after an hour's play. It was set up by Steve O'Shaughnessy's pass, but the finish from Steve Johnson is what the Rochdale fans will remember. So Whitley Bay go out, leaving Darlington, who drew 0-0 at Cambridge, as the only non-league survivors in tomorrow's 4th round draw.
Now, Jim, 1 or 2 highlights of the day.
Yes, first of all, the save of the day, with apologies to Spink and Bracey, who kept their teams in the cup, a goalkeeper who didn't, Peter Fox. But he made an unorthodox save, which for me was quite brilliant, because he was going the wrong way. Here's Merson, and you think this must be a goal. He's moving into the penalty spot, and he hits it well and low, but you can see there Fox was going to the right and flicked his left foot to keep the ball out of the goal. The player of the day, Scott Sellers. £25,000 from Leeds United, Blackburn's inspiration. Here he's got 1 player against him at the moment. You'll see there are 3 line up in the end, and he dummies, takes them all on, and presents Frank Stapleton with what looked to be an open goal. But there's that man Spink, another great save, pushing it out. The dispute of the day was Scott Sellers at fault when the ball went in the net, or was Nigel Spink the Villa goalkeeper? As the ball is crossed, I want you to watch Spink when he catches the ball. If it's a collision and you're after insurance money, was he going into Sellers or was Sellers going into him? I think the goalkeeper was lucky to get away with it. The goal of the day, Glenn Roeder, 34 years of age, Watford skipper, they're 0-0, 74th minute, and he chooses the moment to hit that dramatic shot, which settled that tie really for them. And lastly, well, there's the news of the day. For me, in nearly all the football we've seen, 1 incident apart, there was no aggression or malice on and off the field. Wonderful cup ties, played in very good spirit.
Good sporting day. Let's just give you those replay dates, if we can. On Tuesday, Darlington and Cambridge, Liverpool against Swansea City, and Millwall against Manchester City. And then on Wednesday, Villa against Blackburn, Crewe against Chelsea. That was a good performance by Crewe today in particular. Everton against Middlesbrough, Norwich against Exeter, Oldham against Birmingham, and Queen's Park Rangers against Cardiff City. Now, we don't have cup days anymore, we have cup weekends. Tomorrow we're in Nottingham for Forest against Manchester United live at 3 o'clock, plus immediately after, there goes the phone, immediately after, the draw for round 4. So a good afternoon to look forward to tomorrow afternoon. I don't think we've got time for anything else. Straight home for us, isn't it?
I think it is, Dad. Yeah. The landlady's expecting us tonight, I think.
We'll see you tomorrow. Cheerio.